My name is Mitch. This is my dog, Katrina. We're survivors. We're here today to talk about war stories. The war story is my new commanding officer, part 2. I received my orders to go on a tango boat in the Mekong Delta. This is a 6-man tango boat, and I'm not happy about this. So I'm asking my commanding officer to let me stay behind at Marble Mountain. I don't want to go to the Mekong Delta. I'd rather stay here and take over the outpost. So my commanding officer, he already gave me the orders to go on a tango boat. I told my commanding officer, let me stay. I beg you, let me stay. I'd like to stay here and take over the outpost. So my commanding officer says, I said to him, please let me stay, let me stay. I'd like to stay behind at Marble Mountain. I'd like to take over the outpost. I want to take over the outpost. So my commanding officer says, Barnett, you're a pain in the ass. You're the most persistent son of a bitch I've ever seen in my life. Yes, I'm gonna let you take over. I'll let you take over the outpost. Anyway, he wants, I'm gonna take over the outpost. I'm gonna stay over here at Marble Mountain, have a relationship with the people. I don't want to be transferred, and I'd like to just stay behind. And that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna stay behind at Marble Mountain. So I'm staying behind at Marble Mountain, and my boss actually is First Class Petty Officer Schwab. He's the only other Jewish guy in my unit, and what we're doing actually, my commanding officer wants to adopt a baby from Vietnam. So we're going to go back and forth to the orphanage and to the lawyers at Da Nang City, and I went with Schwab, and we're going to do, he's going to arrange all the paperwork for the commanding officer. He's going to adopt a baby from Vietnam. And the cost of one life in Vietnam, what happened actually, the baby that my commanding officer was going to adopt died. So I was going to the funeral actually with Schwab. We're going to have the baby buried actually. And think about the cost of one life, that what would happen if the baby would have lived, would have had a good home in America, and it would have been a great opportunity for a baby to grow up and maybe be a teacher or the president or anything. The sky is the limit when you're in the United States. The most important word is freedom. Freedom is everything. And so Schwab, what we're going to do, we had to actually take heavy barrels. We were storing in a warehouse up at Marble Mountain. It was 500-pound barrels of Agent Orange. Agent Orange is a defoliant which would destroy the forest, and when they spray that stuff, it destroys the forest. And what happens to people with the Agent Orange and veterans is they get poisoned by this Agent Orange. So what we do, we were going to go with these heavy barrels and take it to the air base so they could spray the Agent Orange. So Schwab said to my commanding officer, to the old man, I don't really want to go at night. It's too dangerous to go at night with all this Agent Orange within a truck after dark. He don't want to go. He don't want to go out after dark. It's too dangerous. He don't want to go out after dark. And this Agent Orange, it was actually made by Monsanto, the chemical company. And this Agent Orange, we used that in the war against the North Vietnamese and Viet Cong forces to destroy the forests. So Schwab says to my commanding officer, I do not want to go out after dark. It's too dangerous. And so my commanding officer, he laughed. He just laughed. He says to Schwab, if you get killed, think how many. He says, I remember like it was yesterday. Think how many gooks you'll take with you if you if you get killed with all this heavy-duty Agent Orange. Think how many gooks you'll kill. And I remember that saying like it was yesterday. It was a crazy thing to say, but my commanding officer was a very intelligent guy. He was a non-traditional kind of guy. And if you ask me, what do you think of your commanding officer? It was like he's not heavy. He's my brother. It's like a love-hate relationship. He was strict. He was tough, but he was a good commanding officer. I could see him one day being president of the United States, my commanding officer, and that's the way I felt about him. And he did let me stay behind, and he gave me a good write-up, and I got a medal for saving his life the other day, and that's the commanding officer, and that's the commanding officer part 2. Okay.